Good afternoon, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm your host for this afternoon. And welcome to the Ordinary Juan podcast. I'm your host for this afternoon, Mr. P. That was a rough,
It was a super loop.
rough intro.
Abrupt stop pa yun.
So,
It was an abrupt stop.
we are the number one podcast here
Yes, as you
in
can see, guys.
Cebu.
Thank you so much, Cebu, for making us the number one podcast.
We have received your delegation for being the number one podcast for the millennium, and we are grateful for your vote. Thank you very much.
But we will humbly decline
Yes, we humbly decline so that we can give way to our
to
competitors.
our competitors.
We have sad news for you today, ladies and gentlemen. If you can notice here, one of the pigs is missing, namely Dr. Pig.
Oh,
He has
Dr.
succumbed
Pig.
to the avian flu. And
Fortunately.
good thing is he is not contagious, and the avian flu will not spread here.
On his
We are
face.
not infected with avian flu right now. So condolence to Dr. Pig for
Dr.
having
Pig.
contracted the avian flu. And yes, we will put your obituaries next month. So now that we have delivered you the most important news of the day,
Yes, ladies and gentlemen.
that's a continuation of our lockdown series. How many days are we into this self quarantine?
Lockdown series.
Yeah.
Well, the DepEd announced that school suspension are from last Friday until March 30 and 28.
28.
So I think it's 2 weeks.
Yes, so we're already on the 20th right now. 8 more days until school is back for those who still have school.
Yes.
I'm sure you're looking forward to that, students. And I have classes too in the coming this 28th.
Oh, you have
going back to my
classes still?
yes. So I'm looking forward to that. The what do you call this? The coming back to the everyday life.
The adjustment.
Yeah. Have you acclimated to this being here, in the house?
You know, yes, I am already. But the only way for me to get through this every day is I kind of made my I kind of forced my body to follow schedules. Like this morning, even though I don't have any job, I still pretended to go.
At least you're what's that?
I'm tricking my body.
You're being productive.
Being productive.
At least in
to
your
look
own ways.
in my own image.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's our topic today in this episode is the news. The news about the COVID. This thing that's going around, and
That's a good thing then,
yes.
because
So
I'm not really up to date with all the news that is happening right now. And I guess you, Mr. Pick, can help me out with this.
yeah, we'll just read the
thing.
news and give our thoughts and what's going on with the world right now and the Philippines. So yeah, let's go ahead and just go ahead and jump into it. So here's the news for today. Oh yeah, have you seen that thing on YouTube and Facebook right now?
What?
That the animals, while humans have stayed indoors and reduced activity, the world is healing.
Are you serious?
Yeah, Mother Nature is healing. Dolphins and swans have appeared again in the canals of Venice because of the lockdown there in Italy.
What? Really? No.
Yes.
That's very
Fish
interesting.
that they haven't seen for a long time are back swimming. They can finally, the waters there in Venice are so clear again that they can finally see what's at the bottom.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing. But I mean, despite the whole quarantine thing, but
There's
the animals going back
a
there.
silver lining ba?
No,
No.
it kind of reminds me of the Godzilla movies, the new Godzilla movies, where they really they had a problem with Godzilla and how they're supposed to handle Godzilla because it's going to be the end of the world.
Yeah.
But it turns out that the Titans were the ones actually healing the world. So the end credits, like more fish.
Oh yeah, yeah,
They've
yeah.
never
As a
been
way for them
before
to
seen fish.
return balance to the
Return
world.
balance, diba? Corals and growing back. It's
So,
kinda like this.
Yeah, so you could see here after a week of lockdown, the canals in Venice are all clear and full of fishes. Kind of gives you the idea what will happen to Earth without humans. It really does, no. In just a short amount of time, we could already see the impact of humanity on the Earth, ba?
Bitaw.
Yeah, just a short amount of time of humans not being humans.
Destructive or abusive.
Not being, yeah. With reduced human activity, the Earth heals itself or has healed itself in
It's
just a
kinda
short
sad,
time.
though, if
Yeah, it's
you
kind of
think about it.
yeah. If it just shows that we are the problem, ba? We are the problem in this
So this universe, this world.
in our world. We are
Our
the
world.
problem. So, but fortunately, also while this is happening, yesterday was the highest in terms of casualty.
Like why?
I think there were around 485 deaths in Italy yesterday alone
485 deaths because of Corona.
because of Corona. Yeah,
Is that high already?
yeah, that's super high. That's like the highest record in a day, I guess.
How many were
that's
infected in Italy like last week or like? I thought the mortality rate of coronavirus is not. that-
Sorry, it's 475 days. Yes, single day deaths in Italy. China, on the other hand, has reported zero new transmissions of their virus yesterday.
Would you believe that?
Yeah, that's kind
Or it's kind of sketchy.
no, you can't really
Zero,
believe.
Jud, zero transition.
But maybe they have, gotten over the highest point of the virus, and they're already curving down about, the curve that people have always been referring to.
You mean they
Maybe
ran
China
out of
has
people
finally,
to infect now?
yeah, maybe they finally, have achieved, they're finally at the zenith of the curve. They're finally going down.
So
Um,
it took them like around 3 months.
Yeah, almost 3 months to
3
get
months.
through the curve. Yeah. And so, I hope that's true though. That China has zero domestic cases, are no longer transmitting or reporting in new cases.
Well, if that's
Because,
really true,
yeah.
that's good news then for
Hopefully.
China.
Hopefully.
So like, let me ask you a question. Like,
Uh-huh.
so how did the corona traveled from China to Italy of all places? Why Italy? Like, how did that
Well, the
skip the other countries into it? And we're talking about like massive infection and death ba? In Italy. Jud.
well because I think the effort to quarantine from China was kind of delayed. The virus first came around December, and before they even, actually started to shut down their airports and such, there was like a few days that the Chinese people were able, from ground zero were still able to fly out of the country. So I guess from there, some might, really have been able to fly out of the country while they were still infected, but they were not showing symptoms at that time because the virus manifests in different ways. So
like most of them they all came back to Italy or like
maybe they
they're all
flew. Maybe they flew to Italy.
Italy. Jud.
Yeah, and I think Italy is a a very susceptible area for
Why? Because of the huge population.
the huge population and people that are so outgoing. They also their social customs ba. They're very physical,
They're
diba?
they're the ones
Yeah.
that they do like the
They
the,
like
the
they
beso-beso.
they really like to touch each other.
Touch each other, oh.
Yeah, and they're, be intimate with each other, but that's a way for them to show affection. Like,
Yeah. sana food,
Yeah, food nila,
okay,
their hands.
pizza, no?
Yeah, and they're also, they kiss each other on the lips. That's the normal way of, greeting each other.
Ito,
So,
no?
it's a recipe for disaster. Well, Europe has become the epicenter for
The
coronavirus. Like
coronavirus.
Germany already has like 10,000 cases, but they only have 24 deaths.
Oh,
Comparing it to Italy, they have like around the same number of cases, but their deaths are around the
mas dako.
2,000, around the 2,000s.
I didn't even know that Germany was hit sa corona because
Yeah, they've been hit by the coronavirus. We'll bring it. There's a. Oh, you're logged out. So I've been trying to pull it out here. The South China Morning Post. Um, so here, yes, Italy. Oh, with now 3,004 deaths. That's a lot.
so Italy has, what is that, 41,000
41,000 cases.
cases.
Yeah. And Spain, yesterday.
3,405 deaths in total na.
Yes.
So the one that you said was just yesterday, the 485.
Just one day. That was one
What?
day. That happened yesterday. 475 deaths
I thought
in
Iran
one day.
was worse. So Italy, they
Yeah, Italy is like hitting, receiving the brunt of the virus, dude.
wow.
They've even begun to, the Italian government has begun saying that they will no longer be able to assist new cases or new patients.
Okay, and so they ran out of
They've run out of hospital bed spaces or manpower, medical equipment. They're running out. So this is like the worst situation for Italy right now. Yeah. Now Germany, on the other hand, 10,000 cases
Yeah,
and only
no?
44
Only
deaths.
44 deaths.
They
no?
must be doing something right there. They've already begun to close down their immigration borders. Europe has, I think, yesterday officially closed down. They're not letting anyone in or out of their countries. Germany, France, yeah, of course, Italy, and the United States. I think Trump hasn't really seen the seriousness of the virus. He's calling it Kung Flu.
What?
Yeah, he's calling it Kung Flu.
Kung flu?
Yep, Kung Flu.
Oh no.
What the heck?
So, were there any outraged netizens there or enraged people?
Oh yeah, I really don't know.
Is it
People find
appropriate?
it amusing. People find it amusing.
How about the people how, how about the people from mainland China? Like, what do you think about that? Like, Trump calling it Kung Flu.
I don't really think he called it Kung Flu.
Where'd you get Kung Flu?
I saw it I think it was a meme. I think it was a meme. Just calling it Kung Flu.
Kung Flu.
Yeah, it was most likely a meme. I hope that it was a meme. It would be crazy if a U.S. president called it Kung Flu.
You know who's Kung Flu right now?
What?
Dr. Pig is Kung Flu.
Oh yeah, Dr. Pig is Kung Flu with the avian flu. Baby.
Avian Flu.
The avian flu. What is this? Yeah, I think he did say it's Kung Flu.
Oh.
Kung Flu remark and claims Asian. Yeah, I think he did, Jude. Kung Flu. calling COVID-19 a Chinese virus or Kung Flu is racist. I think he did. I think. Yeah, my gut sank when
What is it?
President Trump responded today.
President Trump doubles down. What did he say?
He doubled down on his use of the term and did not substantively address the report that his aide used the even more derogatory term Kung Flu. Ah, so his aide. Okay, not really Trump. Exactly.
So that's the name of his
His aide.
aid, Kung Flu.
No. His aide used the term.
Oh, okay. I'm
Oh.
sorry.
He then reflexively went to his long documented go-to aggressive and antagonistic nationalism by framing his words as counteracting a Chinese official's Twitter claim that the virus was introduced to China by the American military. Well, shame on Trump, though, because Jack Ma, the founder and the owner of
Alibaba.
Alibaba, has been helping the world. This guy, I think he donated 500 masks to the Philippines.
Wow.
Yeah.
That
And
is
he even
cool, Mr.
donated
Jack Ma.
to Italy also.
Oh,
And
cool.
sent them protective equipment, alcohol, tissues.
Do you think that he was the one who made those masks? If people saying that there are no more supplies of masks, so
Maybe.
his company made his own supplies.
Maybe he did. I don't know. I don't know where he got it. But yes, he's supplying and he even donating to the US. So,
That's a good guy right there.
see, he donated 50,000 COVID-19 test kits for the Philippines. Um, he's been donating around the world. This Chinese guy.
Good for you,
people
Mr.
have
Jack Ma.
been, the Chinese are really getting it bad today. I think. I think I think they're getting the. I feel bad for them. That so many of the people who are, ignorant about the issue.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, you can see it, you can read it in Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the social media sites, and I kind of feel bad for the Chinese. So, guys, lay off the Chinese. At this point, it's no longer a joke. It's gone too long. So, the joke, it borders from, being just a joke or being too much. It's no longer a joke. So, it's time to move on from the racist Chinese jokes, guys.
Please.
You might not believe it, but we're part Chinese.
Most of us are part Chinese here in the Philippines.
Yeah,
Hey, man.
we're part Chinese. So, lay off. It's time to stop with the racist Chinese jokes. Because it's no longer a joke. Although, yes, the virus might have originated from China, but they're not to be held liable for something as natural as that,
So, like, speaking about viruses, like, my wife said to me yesterday, there are is it true that there are new found viruses that are just waking up from the ice?
Yeah, viruses.
Is it updated? I mean, is that like News?
The Antarctic areas, North and South Pole, there are ices there. There are bacteria, fungi, molds, viruses that have been asleep.
are they considered like prehistoric?
Yeah, some of them are older. Were older than the dinosaurs. It's like a time capsule there. So they have been there, under the ice.
So despite no matter how cold the environment is, so you mean like for these types of viruses, they won't die, So
Some of them
even
could
though-
survive, but some of them are dead. Most of them are dead. Most of them are dead.
So-
But there are like some who might be able to survive that, but because we don't really know what's under the ice, so some of them could survive, but most of them would probably be dead. Yeah.
So the chances of us getting, contracting these prehistoric viruses are
Are
low. Or
quite
could
low.
it be low? Yeah.
Quite low, but there's always a chance,
This
because
virus
of
is a
the
super
uncertainty.
virus.
The uncertainty, ba? We don't know. Bitaw.
Bitaw.
Yeah, but it could be, So, yeah.
Do you have any knowledge now of what kind of viruses are already discovered in Antarctica?
No,
Have there been
personally,
any-
I don't know. I've only been able, to read that there are viruses.
There are viruses there.
And ancient, single-celled animals down there, or cells down there. A lot of celebrities are also getting infected. So I think Idris Alba got infected, but he's not showing any symptoms. Also, in here in the Philippines, a lot of Prince Albert. Huh, interesting.
Si Prince Albert. Wait, si Idris Alba ba? Like he had this, di ba? He tweeted man and then he was like saying things about the COVID, but he was with his daughter, right? Like,
Yeah, even his wife.
What's he gonna say? I mean, I don't know.
They were
It's
together.
like,
They had a picture pa together.
no.
Yeah.
So they're all going to be infected now, or they realize now we're going to be infected anyways, or
So I think na
let's just stick together. Or...
maybe I don't really know what's going on the Alba household.
the Alba household.
So Sean Payton, Daniel
Daniel
Day
Day
Kim.
Kim. I know
Looks
this
very
guy.
familiar.
This guy is. I saw this guy's Hellboy,
As who?
the new Hellboy movie
Oh, I
where he
haven't
turned
seen
into a huge tiger.
Actually, haven't seen the new.
You haven't
Hellboy.
seen Hellboy? You know, I
It's
actually
quite
liked
bad
it.
though. It's quite the review.
That's what people say, but I kind of liked it in their own Hellboy universe
But
way.
if you could compare the old Hellboy and then the new one, which do you think is better?
I missed the animatronics of
So it's all CGI in the new Hellboy.
I think except for the boar. I mean, some parts of that boar. I mean, the pig, whatever that monster was. He was half that, but I kind of missed the animatronics of
Practical effects.
practical effects of Del Toro.
Del Toro.
He has this effect about of movies.
He's a
like,
class on his own.
like
so.
the Pan's Labyrinth. The
Oh yeah.
he has
really
that
good.
really awesome
He's a
element.
really conceptual, director. I like his. I like the practicality of his effects.
Yeah, but gore wise, that Hellboy, the new Hellboy, was
very gory.
very gory. I like it because I'm also a gore fan.
What
So
story was it good?
the story, well, I only saw it once, and I was kind of amazed of all the effects. And I'm also a fan of Hopper from Stranger Things. The act, I forgot the name of the actor who played Hellboy there. I'm also a fan of him, so I wasn't really minding the. Actually, forgot about the story. I kind of forgot about the story, man. I think there were like.
So it's not really good at all because you actually forgot the story.
Maybe it was some kind of an assembling of a witch, like a body parts of the witch, that kind of stuff, and then who lives on a tree, that kind of English.
No, I really don't.
In Witcher or anything that has to do with witches, like sometimes they live in a tree or like.
Well, I
they're
should
cursed.
probably watch it because I have so much free time now. So
Yeah.
but I won't give it expect too much from it.
All right.
because-
It kind of had that Silent Hill feel
Oh,
at the
no.
last part. I mean about the monsters that came out of
Okay.
the hell.
I see.
something.
I thought like the feel of the whole franchise.
No,
was like-
not the whole franchise.
Well, Daniel Day Kim, Sean Payton,
Sean
also
Payton.
of COVID.
Oh,
Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant. He check that angle. He kind of looks like Michael J. Fox.
No.
Who's the guy who played Django?
Yeah, because they suspended all NBA games indefinitely.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's amazing, no? This virus is such an interesting thing, of the effects.
It's like the entire year. It's
One
an entire year.
unseen, how something so small, could so easily wreck the status quo, the normal, the normality of life. Ariel Charnas, I don't know who this is. Charlotte Lawrence.
Charlotte Lawrence. Who you, man?
I don't know who the Idris Elba there.
Si Idris. It's Elba di ay.
Idris Elba.
I thought it
okay.
was Alba.
I thought it was Alba.
I was also wondering why if they're related with
Rachel
Jessica Alba.
Matthews. I don't know this guy.
Quintora. Man, we I think we already know.
Oh no! Are
The
you
Game
serious?
of Thrones person, Christopher Hivju.
Christopher Hivju.
He is the barbarian. What was his
Yeah,
name?
Wildling. The one who really loves Brienne of Tar.
Brienne of Tar.
I love her. I don't know his voice. I love a woman. Wait, did he say that?
Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson. They were one of the
Really?
earlier ones.
Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
So how's he doing now?
I think he's doing fine.
Oh yeah. By the way, about age, ba?
Yeah.
Like, so all of those death stats that you showed me the facts, are they still related to the same age that the coronavirus would affect? Like. like 60 plus above, like
Mostly it affects the elderly. And so majority of it siguro from the elderly because Italy has one of the highest, you know,
old
ilang ratios
demographic.
ba of old people.
Oh.
But I saw a video also in Facebook showing kids um, on beds with coronavirus. I think the caption says coronavirus anyway, and they were not they were finding it so hard to breathe.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
scary.
So I really felt bad for the kids because I know how it feels being an asthmatic. So maybe those kids are asthmatic or they have compromised immune systems. Because there was a video I saw yesterday that said asthmatics are 80% more likely to contract COVID
Mm.
than the
Are
ordinary.
susceptible?
Yeah, but they're more 80% more susceptible than the
Oh.
average human being. So those children might have asthma, so they're finding it really hard to breathe, and it pains me to see them. So yeah, we've had this idea that COVID is safe for the younger people, but if you have asthma or any kind
Your
of
chances are low.
disorder,
Oh.
you might have it'd be best to steer clear. Asthmatics are advised to quarantine ourselves for 80 days
If you have it,
if you have asthma, yeah.
what?
So not a good thing for me. But I'm not complaining. The people out there are really suffering.
How you holding up, man?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
you for real?
Yes, Begonia Gomez, wife of Spain.
Begonia Gomez, wife of Spain.
The wife of Spain.
Like Spain has
The wife of
a
Spain.
physical
What
wife?
is it? What was that I read? Wife of Spain's Prime Minister
I thought it was wife
Pedro
of Spain.
Sanchez. I didn't read the whole thing. Olga Kurilenko. Who are you?
She is familiar. I
Former
think I
Bond
have
girl.
Yes, that is
Quantum of
why. Quantum
Solace,
Solace. I
okay.
remember now. Yeah.
Peter Dutton. I don't know you. Mayor of
Francis
Miami.
Suarez.
Oh, the wife of Justin Trudeau.
He's Canadian.
Yes, he's Canadian.
Isn't
The
he
Prime Minister Canadian.
From Canada.
The Canadian Prime Minister. I'm sorry.
Who's that?
Fabio
Some action star.
Vansgarten.
Fabio Vacindaganardo.
Jair Bolsonaro. He deserves.
Who's that? Oh, the
Yeah.
president?
Yeah. He's a bad apple. Daniele Rugani.
What do you mean he deserves it?
He's a bad apple. I think he was
He's
behind
Italian,
the
he's the-
Brazilian.
Brazilian.
I think he was behind
the
the
fire.
of Brazil, the Amazon fire, and he has very traditional and inclusive views and policies. So
Now that was bad. The whole Amazon fire. How is the Amazon fire, by the way?
I have no idea.
Is it still like the last time I
think
asked
it's already
you? You said it was still burning.
Finished. Oh,
That was like January or
it's a
something.
long time. Yeah, I don't know. When I was admitted to hospital
was
last year,
December.
December, that was the fire, right? That was when Amazon fire
It
was
was already
strong.
ongoing.
Yeah, it was already ongoing.
It was ongoing
Yeah.
now.
It's crazy.
That was like 2 weeks.
The France culture minister, Rudy Gobert, Donovan Michel, Musurme Ebtekar, Iranian vice president, Nga Nguyen,
Nguyen. Vietnamese.
Makel Artera. And so, yes, for now, those were the...
Stars we lost. What is that? That wasn't related to the whole COVID.
Who's that? Yeah. So, it makes you think, well, these people, these rich guys, with all their wealth and their security and all their comfort and privilege, they still have the coronavirus. So nobody's
Still
really safe.
contracted. No one is
So
safe.
you guys
COVID.
better stay at home.
Don't even think about sneaking out
Stay home.
night, kids.
Or you're gonna get the avian flu.
You better hide your kids.
Hide your kids, hide your
Wives.
wives,
Hide your daughters.
hide
Was it
your
part of your daughters?
daughters. Vico Sotto. Have you heard anything?
Well, my wife said someone got mad with Vico Sotto. Was it correct because of the lockdown thingy, or maybe I wasn't listening?
I don't know.
Well.
Yesterday I was reading news that Vico Sotto was being proactive. He was dealing with the virus in
Okay, you
the,
tell me that from the beginning.
no,
So
from
that
what
I
I've
could,
heard lang,
yeah,
from
okay.
he was dealing it,
So who's this guy? Vico Sotto is
the mayor.
The mayor of who?
Mayor
where?
of I have no idea. Pasig City. Yes, here.
Okay, so what is he? What did he do?
I think is being in the front line, and aside from doing that, like giving food, and masks and alcohol and ration, giving rations, ba. But one thing, okay, it has something to do with the tricycle drivers, and people are and the higher ups are kind of angry why he's going against the presidential decree of reduced mobility, and that includes tricycles. So they're kind of the higher ups are kind of berating Mayor Vico Sotto for going above and beyond the orders of Malacanang. So the Filipinos are not too happy with that.
Oh,
Yeah.
at Vico Sotto.
No, they're not too. They're happy. They're in love with Vico Sotto. Everybody wants to.
He's taking the
Yeah.
initiative.
Everybody wants to marry this guy now.
So the Filipinos are not happy of how the higher ups are attacking
Vico Sotto.
Vico Sotto.
Yeah, attacking, quote unquote, attacking, quote unquote.
Is Vico Sotto like
He's a young
an
kid.
actor his previous life? Because I'm not really.
No, he wasn't.
Who's this guy? By the way?
He's related to the Sotos. Of
The
course.
Sotos,
Yeah, and
same.
I think he's
He has
super
the
young.
eye. He's got the eyes.
He's super young.
Yes, he is young. You know, at this far from I'm looking at the laptop at a very far far distance. He kind of looks like Harold from Harold and Kumar.
Oh yeah, no, he kind of does.
Yeah, if you look it from here.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you can see it like up close at the screen. If well, it's kind of pixelated now from my distance. So he kind of looks like Harold.
I don't know
He kind of
how
looks like Roldy.
old this guy. Why am I using Bing? Nobody uses Bing.
Sometimes I do. I use Bing.
This is not my computer, guys, so you can blame him. You can blame him for using Bing.
Well, I have Chrome at the taskbar, man.
Oh, yeah, I'm using Edge. Okay.
You're the one who's using Edge, brother.
A new hashtag is going around Twitter, the Philippine sphere. Protect Vico. Yeah. So after netizens rallied behind Pasig City Mayor Vico Sotto after administration officials and supporters blasted him for allowing tricycle drivers to operate while Luzon was on lockdown. So here, tricycle drivers an issue, but they're. How about what's your take on this?
Yeah,
Are they being
going to ask you that?
petty for you for doing this, or is this the right thing? What would you do? How would you react if you were Vico Sotto or the White House?
Actually,
Sorry,
I was supposed to
Malacanang.
ask you, Gali, like, if you were Vic Soto, would you allow the tricycle drivers to do their
What
job?
did they
So
do?
Why
What
would
did they do? On Thursday,
the
March
reason they-
19, the Twitter hashtag Protect Vico trended and has since garnered almost 33,000 tweets, mostly in support of Soto, who has led numerous pro-people initiatives in Pasig City. A day after the start of the Luzon lockdown, Soto urged the national government to allow tricycles to continue operations, citing health workers and people in need of medical attention, for example, who have no cars and could not all be accommodated in the local government-provided shuttles. So alternatives to you know, to the local government-provided shuttles. Yes, to allow tricycles to continue operations. So he allowed
So it's not too
tricycles
far away to reach.
continue operations. Yeah. On Wednesday, March 18, Cabinet Secretary Carlo Nograles rejected Soto's appeal, saying that he could not see how social distancing can be practiced in a tricycle. Well, that's kind of true, though.
Yeah,
'Cause
it is.
you're really
It's cramped up
cramped and intimate
inside
there.
the cart of the tricycle.
But, people really shouldn't be out anyway to go look for tricycles. I mean, But, some people who have no cars, I understand that there are people who have no cars, and that their only means of getting about is through tricycles, and the shuttles cannot accommodate everyone in Pasig City. So to help for the everyday Filipino Yeah. A day after the start of the Luzon lockdown, Soto urged national government to allow tricycles to continue operations. Yes, on Wednesday, Interior Undersecretary Jonathan Malaya also said on Thursday that Soto should just be more creative and dealing with the transportation problem. This did not sit well with netizens who pointed out that allowing tricycles on the streets was actually based on a risk assessment study conducted by the city's local government. So people here were using, Vico Sotto said, we're using our vehicles, but it is not enough. Our risk assessment shows that we can't ban tricycles at this point. Health workers need to get to work, which is true. Because if they can't get to work, then how can they help? How can they provide their service? Some emergencies can only be reached by trike. For now, I am allowing tricycles to operate within Pasig. Toro will issue guidelines. Kip Webenda said, North Castle's analysis is too simplistic. National government says bawal. Therefore, that's right. Vico Soto is on the ground in Pasig. He knows what people need.
Mm-hmm.
So, for you, which side are you on? Are you on Vico's side? Are you on the government's side?
Oh, sometimes I could say, but I'm a bit of a I'm I'm a bit of a rebel. Maybe I would still go to Vico's side, but I'm not going to use tricycle. I'm probably not going to use tricycle because it would also conflict with my logic, but like about social distancing. So it's kind of small, it's cramped. So
Yeah,
I
like
would find another
what this guy
alternative.
Nolly de Castro said, na tricycles are not really appropriate for
Di ba?
within this. Yeah, but the main, I guess the main problem for Vico Soto is how can he, continue the movement or the logistics of services like medical staff. People have to need to go
Travel,
around,
yeah, to
travel
travel,
around.
yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, if in my thing, I don't really know how it is there in Pasig right now, but Vico knows because he's the mayor in Pasig.
Do you think the higher ups have any idea what they're up to there in Pasig? Like, do they know the hardships there?
The reality in Pasig,
Yeah, or maybe they're just under that behind their
they're
desk.
they're most likely
It's
behind
just on the
their
rumors, but
desk.
like,
Yeah.
what? He's defying
So
our orders.
they can't really
Orders.
empathize or sympathize with the citizen or
Yeah,
resident
I
in
think
Pasig City.
I think that's their
Yeah.
parts. Ano? Maybe it's
So
kinda like that.
it's easy for them to just say, na, "Oh, you're not following the mandate or the instructions of the government.
That's why it's easy.
You should stay in line." But if you're in Pasig, you're the only one who knows.
And that's where those Filipinos are kind of mad.
Yeah,
No.
but if you apply that logic to every city, though, then every city will just go around saying, "Oh, you don't know what's going on." So
They would use
cen-
that as an excuse.
central government doesn't know what's going on, so we'd rather not listen to any mandate or any, because it works, man, in all, on all commands or issues by the presidency, because if you just use the excuse that it's what's the locality knows best, so then everyone will just do their own thing, right?
Yeah, you're right. But what if maybe it's a tricycle, they're only allowing one or two persons to ride?
I don't know how they're practicing.
And how much is the fare of that? Would that still be the same? The same fare? Oh, what is that? There's like a diagram. Oh. What's that? One passenger?
Well,
What is that about?
this guy is arguing. His argument, tricycle and
He has like, you have to choose.
the comparison. The
Ah.
comparison, yeah.
What is this
And it
picture?
really is kind of the same.
Yes.
Still cramped.
But the chances of you, the chances of this other picture, but the picture from the right, I think that's likely you'll be infected faster than
Magani,
the tricycle, di ba?
it's the same, but this is the government This is the
Oh wait,
transportation being
this is the
provided. Yeah.
government's.
So
All right,
it's-
I'm sorry. My mind kind of flew. So that is the government solution.
That's I guess that's what they're doing that right now. Yeah.
They want that instead of the tricycle.
They're doing that now.
They're doing that.
Yeah.
Ah,
So it's kind of the same, right?
yes.
And these things, these trucks,
Are more susceptible.
they simply can't provide for everyone there in Pasig City or in any of the cities.
And not to mention how about the budget for the gas of the diesel
Yeah,
for the
spending
truck?
so much money.
I
So
think that would be more
the
bigger.
tricycles could help. Reduce the costs.
Yes, and they maybe for me I think like they will only allow maybe
They should
one
do
or
that.
two or
No,
three passengers
two
at
passengers
a time.
at a time.
Like one on the cart inside the cart and
Yeah.
one at the back of the
Just
tricycle
strictly
driver.
2 passengers at a time.
Yes.
That would
not
be
five or
that would be
six.
appropriate.
At least they're getting somewhere if they're
And
using that.
tricycle drivers should have masks and even helmets. I don't know, PPE. You know.
PPE.
Yeah. Because this is the same thing. You're still you're helping transmit this to everyone. This still not social distancing.
Kind of looks so morbid though when you look at the truck.
Even this guy is not
Kind of
wearing-
reminds me of trucks carrying pigs. Pigs.
Oh yeah, no.
They're all cramped up inside a truck.
Even this guy is not wearing a mask. So
That guy was not wearing a mask.
oh yeah, good thing.
What
Okay.
happened?
I thought our video. So getting you out. Put plastic cover between sidecar and motorcycle. Make sure na may suot na mask ang pasahero at driver. Yeah, they could do that. They could enforce that.
Rather than making it stop by it's more counterproductive naman, I think. If do you think it's counterproductive if they would stop
So this is one of the arguments against the tricycles. Now, if other LGUs or local government units in Metro Manila can shuttle their healthcare workers, why not Pasig? We appeal to Mayor Vico to be more creative in dealing with this problem, just like the other Metro Manila mayors. Yeah. I think maybe he did it because it's the most efficient. Just, be stricter with the regulations of tricycles. Make sure it's only 2 passengers per
I don't know if the whole plastic thing of the cycle
is necessary.
is necessary.
Maybe.
In terms of
Maybe.
contracting the corona during the travel.
Maybe. I don't know.
You know what's better though? You put alcohol or sanitizers inside the tricycle. I think that also helps. No? What do you think?
What did you say?
I think you know what's better than the plastic thing? You just every tricycle must have at least that pump alcohol thing. So that at least there's
no, that would help too. Yeah.
That will also help.
Yeah, but the supply for that though.
I know that would be very
Difficult
demanding.
to supply. Yeah, that would be very difficult.
Or a lot of people will buy a whole truck of tanduay and then they use that as a sanitizer or alcohol. Can tanduay kill corona?
I have no idea.
Can the alcohol?
Maybe outside, but on the inside, drinking it won't.
No, not drinking it, but tanduay use it to be used as a substitute for your alcohol.
Now this is one moving away from the Vico Sotto thing. One thing I'm happy about is churches going online, because I understand that some churches out there still are asking for their attendees to congregate, and it's very dangerous at this.
It is dangerous, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
no.
Because, yes, what are the chances that one might be infected and it could just spread throughout the entire church?
Yeah.
So, logically, I think the wise thing to do for pastors or priests is to just congregate,
Rabbis or whatever,
rabbis,
imams or
is to
religious
congregate
sect.
online. Maybe make what do you call that? Use online, the internet for how can I say that, religious purposes or religious gatherings.
Like this one, Iglesia ni Cristo to hold no worship service at chapels amid COVID-19
Yeah,
quarantine.
that's
I
good.
think that would be good. One thing that I've been seeing though is people have been saying online, why won't the churches donate their money for the cause of COVID-19? It kind of makes you kind of think, but we won't talk about religion. Pokwang shares message of hope. Pokwang yesterday,
Why? What happened to Pokwang yesterday?
people were angry at Pokwang
Why?
because she tried to help. She posted a video on social media. He was making sandwiches for the frontline workers, for the medical team, the security forces, and then other videos and showing her giving the food to them. And then the people online, her haters, attacked Pokwang.
Like what? What are they trying to say? They say like, you're giving food to them, you're going to contract corona like that.
Oh no, they were saying that she was trying to grab
Pretend?
attention though.
Grab attention.
Yeah, that she was being an attention whore.
Oh.
Yep. And she was so
Why?
mad and she lashed out saying mga putang ina niya. And yeah, it's kind of unbelievable though, Filipinos are so impossible to please, no?
I think that is what we call our character, racial traits. The crab mentality. Is that crab mentality right there?
Is it crab mentality? What is crab mentality?
Crab mentality is, well, in a nutshell, is if you, diba, how do crabs walk, man?
At the side.
At the
left
side
and
when they're
right,
going,
yeah.
even though if they see the goal there, they still want to go.
Oh, that's crab mentality?
Yeah, sideways. Diba, mom lang crab, no? So, example, like you find your friend being a successful person, instead of commending him or referring your other friends to him, for some reason, deep down, you're maybe envy, whatever, you try to suggest to another one. You try to suggest that person to another. Like that one example, ba? Like, don't go there. You just go to me instead. Or, like, do you know what that's one essence of crab mentality. Like,
I think this is a very Filipino term.
yeah, crab mentality is it's a Filipino trait.
Let's look that up now. What is crab mentality? 10 signs that a person has a crab.
Mentality. All right, let's try to read that. I think
They are
that's
too
kinda
proud
cool.
of themselves and treat others as inferior beings. Accept.
See, you see what I mean? Is it one of the? Is that the thing that I said?
Yeah, okay. You can sense a breeze of arrogance from people with crab mentality. They feel like they have royal blood flowing in their veins, and they treat other Filipinos as peasants.
Boom.
When they earn some achievements of their own, whether big or small, they brag it to everyone to position themselves higher from the rest of the Filipinos. And that is why they will always look down on you, especially if you're a Filipino who came from the province or a provinciano, provinciana. They can be racist to their own race, the Filipinos. I mean, they can be racist to other regional races of the Philippines.
that is just right there. So complicated already.
Yeah, no, the idea ba na taga-probinsya naman ka na.
Oh, diba?
And
Looking
that's
down.
usually from the capital man. The capital is the capital na mindset ba in the NCR region.
Bitano, so did you na siya ingon nga? That's
This one,
Purely Filipino.
that mindset na probinsyano naman ka. Because
Okay,
technically
diba?
we're a province ba.
yeah. That's true.
So-
Everyone,
Yeah.
where here?
But there are some people in Cebu who are very ignorant that we are
The using of that word.
yeah,
Yeah.
because ironically we are also a province.
Mao
So
jud
if
mo.
they do use that to derogatorily to another Filipino, you're a Filipino and you're from the province, but so you're just hitting yourself in the head. So
Taga-probinsya,
yeah.
mga bro.
so stupid Filipino trait number 1. Taga probinsya magkabay. So stupid. They panic when their comrades are happy and improving.
Uh-huh.
Aside
Okay.
from arrogance, you can smell envy, jealousy, and bitterness from this kind of people. They freak out when the people they look down are rising or progressing beyond them. It gives them a terrible feeling of insecurity. That's why they will try to pull them down, either by harsh words or by unkind actions. You will see them giving bitter comments on Facebook, Twitter, and social media channel. They can be irritating as they may spoil your own little achievements or happiness. So watch out.
Kana, that is very common, Jud. Kana number 2.
Envy.
Mm-hmm.
So like crab mentality is like a hodgepodge of all the negative traits of a socially inept person.
Well, based on my understanding, crab mentality is pretty much number 2, Jud, for me. Like yeah, that is a crab mentality thing. Like
Yeah,
pulling
this for
someone-
me too is my general gist,
Diba sa crab
Ah.
mentality?
my general understanding of crab mentality. Their motto in life is "I can't have it, neither can you." You know, so they wish everybody to suffer with them. They represent the crabs in the bucket metaphor, where the crabs can easily escape from the bucket, but instead they grab and pull down each other in a selfish, competitive manner, which prevents any of them to escape, resulting in their collective demise. Yeah, no, that's very Filipino. In other words, people of a crab mentality are selfish and they don't have any sense of sacrifice. They're actually the opposite of Filipinos who are known to love bayanihan or communal work.
Yeah, it's exactly 180%, ay 180 degrees jud nga extreme opposites ba of the bayanihan working together community feel.
I don't really see that anymore, the bayanihan
Yeah, it's
trait.
rarely na kay no actually example if we usually have fires here
They
and
help each other.
everyone
out,
would
yeah.
help even though they're not firemen.
I think that's a human trait. That's not a Filipino trait. Like a human trait that's in nature, juba, to help without like they're
You haven't
terrible.
experienced that
No, I
or-
don't see it much in practice na, but this bayanihan thing that it's everywhere in our civica and social studies, Filipino social studies, and we're helping your neighbors and whatever.
Well, napa. I mean, yeah, bayanihan like sometimes. How about like
Flat tires ka ng mga you push the car. I think that's the standbys help push the car. I think that's a very bayanihan.
yeah that one? See
Example.
one example. And how about the thing they like if someone is asking directions to someone that you know, you would really literally point him to that direction. Yeah, it's almost as if you were the one driving his car.
It's so odd, no? Na
to his
we
home.
have to make something or give a word to something that is universally human in nature, but like you could easily say that bayanihan is just being helpful in nature, you know. Like Japanese people also do that in Japan. If you ask for directions, they are more than willing to give you directions also. So like, why is there a need for us to call it
Bayanihan.
bayanihan?
Bayanihan Manggod is, I think they used that for that
It's so
when they were carrying the big house. I mean, when
Yeah,
they want
when you
to
carry the
transfer
bahay, the
house,
balay.
diba?
Yeah.
And then like everyone from the sa entire community would help and make it. I don't know. I think they turned it into a festive a feast for that day nga, for them to celebrate and carry the house of their neighbor or friend, move it somewhere else. Yeah, they have these rituals and stuff. Ay, rituals ka ng party. Ano ba? I think that's the Benihan Jud said nga word. I don't know, Jud, if that's the original source, but it can be applied na to anything na lang for today. Kay they don't have the traditional houses naman nga
So
we do that
rather
to do that day.
they should just say na helpful, you know.
Oh, yeah, helpful.
Makita na makita na sana mag
Unsa man?
tabangay magtinabangay ba? Makita na bangon sana.
Abot. That's too deep na.
Basta helping each other out. Helpfulness. I think there's no need for us to make it something like it's such an Filipino trait.
Hospitable. Abot.
Yeah,
unsa man,
like
lain
being
man,
helpful, like being a
inalan.
good person in general. There's no need for us to really say na, oh, it's a Filipino thing. Well, it's a human thing, ba? It's a really human thing that we share universally, across the humans, ba? Other humans. We don't need to be Filipino to see it because I don't think na we deserve it because the hoarding.
Yes, that is a crab mentality there.
Spectacle. Like the bayanihan is not something that we should have the right to claim that it's ours.
Because of our
We don't deserve it. Look
polar
at
opposites.
Yeah, like if you go on social media, nobody really exhibits bayanihanism there.
Yes, that is true. No,
Such a toxic
it's all
place, but I'm like,
toxic.
and the social media is like, it's like the essence of the psyche of the Filipino, because they're free to speak whatever they want, or they feel that online they have no filter, so they just go ahead and say whatever they want. So it's kind of revealing, it's kind of telling that Filipinos are not so bayanihan after all. So we don't deserve that word. Rather,
here's one thing. I think I've read a book somewhere about Filipinos pod nga, 'di ba? Aside from being hospitable, helpful, and the bayanihan culture, the crab mentality, we are also a very contradicting race based on that. But like we
Yeah.
contradict our own traits. That is I think that's true, Jude, na siya. Like I thought they're hospitable, and then they turn out to be very
very crab mentality.
crab mentality at the same time. I think
Very
it's
crabby.
selective. They're hospitable sa mga selected people or something. I don't know. Yeah, maybe like I'm also guilty of being having crab mentality. Yeah, like
If
once, but
I guess we all have, because
yeah, we all have
crab
that.
mentality is such a big word or a big trait. There are 10 aspects here in this article alone, and it's such a general thing for the negative.
Di ba sa
characteristics
other
ba?
countries man kay it's specific man jud.
Yeah, I think it's just lumped into one term, big term, of what a nasty human being is.
So crab mentality is like a Filipino word.
a crab,
There's a word for that,
a
but
blanket
it means
term,
all of that.
a blanket term for all the bad things, for a blanket term for a bad person.
There's actually a Tagalog term for that, or a term basta, and then I just don't know. That's where the crab mentality
Crab
is from.
kautakan.
Crab kautakan. Utukan ng
Crab ng alimango. Alimangong
Utak alimango.
Utak alimango.
Is that the one? I don't know, man.
Moving on.
Filipino.
And yeah,
Okay, what's up na diha mo?
they blame their comrades for their failures rather than helping them. Ooh, this is the one right now on social media. Blaming their comrades for their failures rather than helping them. Like, we love to play the blame game. Filipinos love to play the blame
Bitaw,
game.
dyan na.
You know,
Kids amang sa!
somebody has to be at fault.
Oy, you know what? Bitaw na, you're right, because in our culture, if parents or other people would scold, one of the opening sentences would be, "Who did it?"
Yeah.
It's not like, "What happened?"
Kasi
Or,
oh,
Kinsa
Kinsa
sa
mo ka na?
Kinsa mayroong danan eh.
Oh.
Who
Kinsa?
is to blame? Ano ba? No?
kinsa man ka?
Kinsa. Kinsa man ko!
Kinsa ko ba ka? So yeah, there must be somebody to blame. There must be somebody to blame.
No?
And when kids, it's not my fault, it's his fault.
Oh, nice.
You
Yeah,
know, kids, Filipinos should be taught to claim, to be responsible, and if they did something wrong, they should be taught to own that. Kids today should be taught to own it and not pass it on. Yeah, because it's always been innate to us to always point out. Children should be taught to own their faults, own their mistakes.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, you know what? One example of the crab mentality trait that we've read so far was there's like this. I don't know if it's a joke, but maybe it's also real. You know that part where they're hoarding alcohols right now?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So there's one person also who posted. I went to the grocery store or supermarket to buy alcohol, but there are no more alcohol. So I bought all the toothpaste instead. So you drink alcohol, you you hoarders.
It's the same thing.
That's the
That's the same thing.
Since that's the trait that diba, it said if I can't have it, you can't have it as well.
Yeah.
That's the trait.
And that's and two evils can't can't right a wrong. Yeah. So it's you're only adding to the pile of bull crap already. So you being stooping to their level and hoarding just makes you an asshole.
Yeah, makes you
Like the
the
as
more
much of
the
an
bigger
asshole.
the bigger
Yeah. As
so
much of an
between.
asshole as the other guy. Well, you're on the losing side though because fluoride can't do anything against the NCOV, so at least he has alcohol and you're stuck with fluoride. You're much the same
He
asshole as
can
the other
encase his house with toothpaste.
Oh,
It
yeah.
hardens.
You could do that.
It would be a minty place for him for the rest of
But
summer.
this one though, number 5, yes.
yeah.
On social media right now, everybody is pointing to at each other. Oh, DDS. Oh, yellow tard. Oh, blah 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 blah. Blah. It's so annoying, guys. It's really not doing anything. It's really not doing anything. Being armchair philosophers.
It doesn't help.
Yeah, being armchair politicians is not doing anything. It's not helping. You're all complaining and no solutions. Stephen Fry made a really good statement during the debate on political correctness,
All right.
and of course, he was against the stance for political correctness, which is odd because Stephen Fry is a left kind of guy. So being a left, you should be being left means you should be more politically correct.
Okay.
Striving for the correct pronouns, whatever, sensitivities, whatever. But Stephen Fry is against that because the left people, the liberals, are doing it wrong. They're shouting and saying bad words and screaming and making sure that they are disliked by everyone. So instead, he makes a smart quote. He says, human beings like to be right and not effective.
Can you elaborate on?
Human beings prefer to be right rather than effective. So the left like to shout and declare that we are right, but it's not really effective in proving their cause.
Like the methods of
Yeah, it's not effective,
proving-
but humans would rather prefer to be right than effective. They like to be right than effective. Sure, you're right. No, but then you win the debate. You're right. No,
Mana.
you're right.
Mana.
But you convince nobody because you're not effective in how you deliver your message.
Okay.
So it actually profoundly affected me po ba na during debates you have to consider your effectivity in your debates, na make sure that in your quest to be right you're not pushing away the people.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's the hard part, man. Good. You have to convince them that you have to appeal to the humanity, but the emotions, then the biases of the people to convince them that, Monis, yeah, that whatever party is right. So yeah, this crab mentality, blaming their comrades for their failures rather than helping them, it's not being helpful for your cause. For if DDS ka or you're anti-Duterte or whatever, it's not helpful. You're not being effective. You only want to be right. And that's wrong. You're never going to convince anyone of that. You're only going to continue shouting at each other and creating a bigger rift between the Filipinos. One thing we should learn from the United States is don't be like the United States. Right now, the United States, the left and the right, they're so far apart that anyone who would want to be in the middle,
Would be confused or
yeah, they're confused or they don't have a space anymore. Because, the left would attack anyone in the middle, the right would attack anyone in the middle. So they're all just shouting at each other, but they're not coming to terms.
yeah.
So that's what's happening right now in the United States. The left and then the right are becoming so polarized that they're no longer meeting with each other. So yeah, don't follow the United States. I know that a lot of you guys look up to the U.S. for inspiration, for
But let's just be adults here.
yeah,
Be
what
who you
U.S.
wanna
does,
be.
what the U.S. does, we follow, right? The world follows. What U.S. does, the world follows. But there should be times no, we really should think and not follow at all, because good for them that they're leading and we're seeing their mistakes. So we really shouldn't follow.
Speaking of kanang following the states ba, like this is a literal kanang capitalist history or good like di ba in America they have like 4 seasons, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then here in the Philippines we only have two.
Two.
Wet and dry. Sila kay winter,
Are
spring.
you talking
autumn.
about fashion?
Yeah, this is just fashion lang ba.
Uh-huh.
So our country was not designed to wear
Winter clothes,
winter clothes or
fall clothes,
fall clothes. What is it? Kanang katod yung mga the one with cotton or
Yeah.
super long sleeves.
hoodies.
Oh, hoodies. Thank you. And woolen socks and those stuff because it's not really appropriate for our environment.
But there are places now with offices who are really cold.
Oh yeah, now but during that time ba like mga 19 what is it?
19 whatever.
Oh, whatever. Earlier times nga, that is not appropriate for that. All of them were trying their best to be like them, Jude, like to wear that. And people that are wearing the bahag or the other native, that is anything that is native to the Philippines are kind of looked down upon about like, hey, why you wear that? That's so provincial. You
Yeah,
know?
no, like to wear our national,
to wear our clothes.
to wear our costumes. You have to consider it a costume.
It's
good.
already considered a costume.
Like
Bahag.
wearing a Filipiniana, wearing a bahag, wearing a Barong Tagalog. It's more like formal events, costumes. But if you really should think about it, it's just everyday life lang unta ba. And Western appropriate fashion has become the everyday. But we have abandoned our what should be normally ours lang unta ba.
Yeah.
I mean, whenever I would want to wear a barong just because I like the fashion, people say, "Na, are you going to a wedding? Are you going to
It's yeah.
graduation, whatever?" So can't I just wear a barong?
Because that's
I
what
like-
we wear before.
Because I like the barong or whatever.
The
Yeah.
material is really good, and it's more relaxing. Even the bahag, I know, but I love wearing bahag.
No, because the Westerners were so effective in changing the mentality that bahag equals barbaric.
Yes, and tattoos as well.
Yeah.
The Philippine,
But
the
tattoo
native
culture
tattoos.
is kind of making a full comeback. The tattoo culture.
Yeah,
But
it's a
bahag
good
though,
thing.
yeah,
The bahag, Jude.
we're able to instill in our minds that bahag is akin to being barbaric or uneducated.
or walibuot
Yeah.
or those
Barbaric.
kind of. And then like don't forget,
Wild.
men used to have really long hair here, and hair is also the same as in stated in the Old Testament. Mga hair is power pod.
Yeah, mukha ni Samson hair.
Samson and hair.
But yeah, Western societies, their religion also played a part in shaping our culture into what we have now. We're a hodgepodge of
It's a mixing pot.
a nightmare mixing pot of having too many ingredients in a food.
We're saturated.
Having too many ingredients in a pot is not a good indicator that it's gonna be a good food. It's gonna taste weird and question mark. You don't understand what you're really tasting.
Maybe it's an acquired taste, man. It
We
could
are
be
an acquired taste. They treat their comrades as competitors. Yes. There's no left and right, people. There shouldn't be. We should just stay in the middle. There's no need for one side, and we're all just people here.
Yeah.
We're all just people here.
Deep down, we're all made of the same flesh,
Stuff.
bones, nerves.
It always seems like the words unity and cooperation are not in their vocabulary. They always treat other Filipinos as competitors instead of teammates. You can find this kind of people everywhere, in a basketball team, in an office, and even in a cooperative organization. They could be there. Again, envy, jealousy. See, crab mentality is just that. Envy, jealousy, selfish, all just the bad traits. They don't know a thing about compassion. Compassion is a great virtue that enables us to understand. Just the crab mentality is a blanket term for all the bad traits of a human being. They act like they know everything. So pinamay. You can't argue with them because they act like they are the most knowledgeable people in the world. They are active critics, but they don't accept criticism thrown to them by other people. They don't need your advice. They don't want to hear opinions. Just try to correct them if you dare. So, they spend most of their time talking about people rather than discussing ideas and solutions. True.
Oh, I'm guilty with that. I'm guilty with that.
Discussing ideas and solutions. Yeah.
Sometimes, not all the time.
There are times when it's so easy to fall into this, like to chatter about other people, and then there are times midway in the conversation I often catch myself, where is this going?
No.
where is this talk is not going anywhere.
It just feels good lang venting out on this.
Yeah, but it's
particular
really
thing,
really
but
kind of useless, ba?
it's pointless, but
Oh.
where this.
That's why I really kind of stopped talking about this, because it's not really effective or efficient as spending your energy on that and your time on that. So rather, I always just jump to the conclusion. Okay, here's what we can do, or here's the solution to the problem, because it's just a waste of time.
It's a waste of time.
Talking about the people. They will never admit that they have a crab mentality, and that's the mystery of it. Well, it's with the description. There's 10 principles here. It's too vague. It's too general.
No. I think it's still under jealousy or envy, Rajud.
Yeah,
I think.
jealousy, envy,
it's more
or
on that spectrum.
Parang chismosa, libakera, masuyaon.
You want to.
And because
It's pride. It's selfish.
yeah, selfish.
It's a selfish
pride,
trait, no?
Pride, greed,
Greed, envy.
envy.
Murder.
From
Wala
the
namang murderous
from the
intent,
7
buddy.
deadly sins, that's already 3. So like it's such a, you can say na it's a general, basically anything na bad kay mohog siya crab mentality.
Bro, at least dili sad anything like
Almost everything.
you want to have to kill that guy crab mentality. Dili pa do.
Basically, it could lead to that.
Oh,
Because you
yeah,
have a
because,
crab
no,
mentality
kanina konti
na you're
ka.
going to kill.
Yeah.
Because
You're gonna kill his business, I think pwede.
you're gonna steal because it's part of, you have a crab mentality. See, anything that it's bad,
Pwede siya mahusol
you
ng
could
crab
put it
mentality.
under crab mentality na anything that's bad.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, mo na siya ay the thing nga langan sa development of this country.
Yes.
Crab mentality is number 1. As you can see there, number 10, it's we don't admit that we have crab mentality.
So yeah,
That
this thing here, the Filipinos complaining that POKWANG is helping because nagpakita tao ra siya. Well, screw you! What are you doing in your home? You're complaining there, tapping away on your keyboards and your cell phones and watching YouTube, Netflix, and
better
Facebook.
listen.
Well, you're not doing anything. You're just complaining about the government. Oh, this government sucks, whatever. Mga
listen what he
Dutertards, mga yellow tards. Everyone is a retard except me. Well, you're all wrong. You're all wrong. Action is the best thing. Go prove to the world out there, if you really want to be right, go prove to the world out there by helping other people and not sitting in your rooms.
Thing in your rooms.
You're being a crab if you're just gonna sit there in your room and do nothing.
We can make it a term, no?
Yeah, no.
Don't be such a crab.
Don't be such a crab.
Don't be such a crab, man.
Now it's good to stay in the room, no, because
So
that's the good thing to do, to stay in the room. But if you're gonna stay in your room and complain all the time and make noise and find and attack people who are doing good, then stop being such a crab.
Don't be a crab.
Don't
I
be a
like this.
crab, or we're gonna crack you. We're gonna crack you up.
I don't know. You know what's gonna happen with crabs?
Well, what?
They go be cracked.
We'll crack you with butter sauce. Butter sauce and garlic, and we'll crack you. Boom, crack you.
We don't even need to put vinegar on.
Because it's
this.
useless. You're wasting everybody's time. So stop the crab mentality. And you know how to stop it? By admitting that you're a crab in the first place.
Where does this come from, man? It's like all the years of built-up anger, but
Because I finally understand
realize what the
crab
crab-
mentality is. So Stop being a crab. I have a word for it now.
Yeah, you're such a crab, man.
Stop being a crab. It's pointless. It's a waste of everyone's time. If you really want to prove that you're a crab, you're not a crab, then go out there and do something useful instead of complaining and fighting and bringing everyone down with you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. So that's enough about that. You're all crabs.
We're all crabs
We're
in
all
this
crabs.
universe.
So in order to free ourselves from the crabbiness that we have, admit first
We
that we are
need to
crabs.
cut our legs
Yes.
and leave our arms so we can move forward, drag ourselves forward. But we will be legless.
You know what? We should take time to appreciate the efforts, ba? I mean, nothing is perfect. There's no perfect system. There's no perfect government out there yet. No, we are yet to achieve perfect governance. We
Balik
can
ako on full screen.
we can only theorize that there's a perfect government. We can only theorize that, but there never has been. So yes, you may criticize the bad parts of the government of our government, but at the same time, you should admit the good parts of that government. Like there are things that I criticize China for, but then there are things that I criticize that I praise China for. Things that I criticize the U.S. for, and I praise it for too, and so forth and so on. Even in our own country, we're far from being a perfect government. Oh, we're far from that. But I also
we're
praise.
very far, Jude.
Oh.
We're so far from that.
And we can criticize our country all we want, but the best thing to do is also praise them for when it does good, so that it knows that it's doing good. Because if we keep on criticizing them only and not praising them, when will they know that they did something good?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't reward a good action with, good, it's like behavioral, what do you call it? Association ba? Something. Na, if you teach a dog a trick and reward it with something good, it will do it again because it knows it has a reward. But if you teach a dog to do a trick and then when it does a trick, you smack it in the face, the dog will never do it again. So in this case, the government is the dog. And so the government needs praise when it does something good. Not just criticize it at every step.
Everything na lang.
Oh, everything. You're criticizing everything. Criticize everything. The government tries to do this, you criticize it. And then you cry na, oh, why aren't you doing this? And then when the government does it, you criticize bud. No, it's too late. It's too slow. It's not good enough. Anana. But how would the government know that it's doing good? You give praise where it's due. Because that's how you teach something. In this case, the government, that they're doing what's good. Even China, people are taking time to appreciate the efforts of their government. They're far from perfect, but see, they're paying gratitude to their medics in Hubei province.
So mga efforts nila.
Yeah, our efforts. We may hate our government, yes, but don't be such a crab that you won't recognize the good that they've done too.
Mao. Like for a while before like there were any results from China, everyone would always blame them with some kind of racial stuff. Like that's because they always drink that that bat soup, or that's what you get if you capture all the exotic animals here, and then you deserve this virus.
Yeah.
And now it's all your fault. Now we're having this the virus thing.
Again, we're going back to how the West has conditioned the world into thinking that it's the most superior race. But we have to also think ba na how much China, ancient China, has given humanity progress for humanity, like paper, money, currency, sailing, trade.
Trade,
Architecture,
that's the basic.
philosophy, their Eastern philosophy,
Ink, India.
ink, I don't know, ink,
Or printing something.
gunpowder, medicine.
Oh, the printing thing.
So much came from the East that in a lot of ways have, we were so advanced that the East, but China was so ahead of its time, when during the start of the heydays of the civilization, mo pa yung pag enter sa Bronze Age sa Greece.
Really? That is it. Like,
Oh.
moderate comparison.
Ba? Oh. Like if you imagine it, like pag Bronze Age sa Greece during the Bronze Age, mo pa yung pag fall sa the Egyptian, mo pa yung pag himo sa Egyptians ba sa pyramid.
Pyramid.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bronze Age
Pa
na
ang
ang
Greece. But at the same time, China was already like kingdoms sa sila inana.
So Egypt was what age naman na nga time? Bronze gyapon?
Katong na ilahang
That's way advanced as a bronze.
advanced nga sila.
Ah,
They
no.
already had like divorce there, na sila lawyers,
system
mga
sa
wigs
Jud,
na sila. Oh,
Mana yung mean sa advanced.
they were already advanced.
But China was way advanced pa Jud.
Oh, they were.
Were they already using
advanced.
gunpowder at that
They have
time?
gunpowder paper. They already had
At that time?
Oh,
What? Wow.
so we should not forget what China's done, and we should question our ideals of government. Ba, na sure, China is like the Chinese government now is like what a grandson of communism or whatever. Very, pero you should question it, ba na, is it really bad? And if it's bad, why is it bad? Why do we think that it's bad? Why is capitalism good? Why do we think that capitalism is good? I mean, the Philippines is we're following the U.S. man. The U.S. is capitalistic. But is it really good? If it's good, why is it good? And why are we believing that the U.S. is good and that China is bad? Why is that in our thought? Why is the USA the good and Russia the villain? Why is it portrayed like that all the time?
We didn't even bother to ask why, no? Like really
Yeah.
dive into the
Like,
whole...
is it good? Is capitalism good? Is this... We are the result of capitalism right now. This unpreparedness for the epidemic, this global crisis that we have, as partly can be blamed on the capitalists because, they're just thinking that, we'll solve that problem when we get there. It's not... we'll just, economy will fix itself, blah, 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 blah. But, yeah, you have to ask the question, but you have to really look. I guess philosophy right now being in this generation, should ask the question, should be more on politics, jud ba? And also not to be afraid to question the opposing forms of government or the other forms of
So kinda
government.
like, they're not...
Like socialism, communism,
okay.
Marxism, to think about it pa ba? Because, there's a saying, mga good na, there was a saying na, about the Greeks, Athenians, they invented democracy. Yeah. But if you would bring a Greek here, he would say na, dili jud ni democracy. This is the rule of the few.
Unsa ang kaning diri sa
Right
tawa?
now, it's not democracy. A Greek would say na, no, di man yung democracy. It's not democracy. You're not doing this is not
Like a real traditional Greek guy, Jud.
yeah, from Athens.
From Athens.
Yeah, he would say that this is not democracy. This is just the rule of the few. The rule of the rich.
What is that? Can you elaborate the rule of the few? Kaning what way we
There's a
have right
term
now?
for that. Egalitarianism ba na?
You mean mo na siya actual Philippine democracy?
Oh, no. Di siya. What's the rule of few?
Rule of few. The rule of few.
The rule of the few.
That's a nice song.
The rule of few. Ugh, Bing is so stupid. It's so lame.
Rule of...
Ikaw, you should talk. I'm the only one talking here.
I'm actually impressed how fast the transition was of your explosive...
Oligarchy. There we go. Sorry. Oligarchy.
I know that word, man. Oligarchy.
Oligarchy. Ancient Greece or Athenian would say na we are living in an oligarchy, a rule of the few, the rule of the elites ba.
Sana is a form of power structure in which power rests. Mura like Russian?
No?
Well,
sa una, isn't it like
sa
Russian
communist times, sa ilang, that's totalitarianism na ilang.
Pero before, but like, ito itong, what were their terms gali sa mga, sa rich people pa dito, oligarchs, usa to, katong,
Mga oligarchs po, yeah.
iba naman na, like,
Yeah,
sa
the few,
Russian
those,
czars,
they
usa
were
to?
break, na naman nila, kanang, yeah, basically, communistic yun nila ba, na in which the state controlled everything, totalitarianism sila ba na, absolute control, totally, sa state.
lagi,
But,
oh.
you know, the state was the people or kanimang silang Lenin, inana. So, in other words, gamay ra. So, yes.
So,
Oligarchy po sila.
So, like,
Oo.
mura siya katong mga elite rin nagkupot ana nga.
Basically, yeah,
no?
kisa man, who can run for politics now? Mga elite raman.
Di ba no?
If you have the money, ikaw rin makadagan.
Yeah.
If you don't have the money, like kato yung mga si Pineda,
Si Nicanor Perlas.
Nicanor Perlas.
Bitaw. You never voted for him, guys.
Nicanor
I
Perlas.
was the only guy who voted Nicanor Perlas.
He was a good candidate. He was a scientist.
Yes, he was a scientist. I think he's a big head sa international sa science jud mismo with thermal I think was a thermonuclear or something or something to do with thermal fusion energy, geothermal energy sa sea and stuff. But gilabel na siya as nuisance candidate na hinuon diri sa
Yeah, because
during
he doesn't have the
Eloy,
di mo
diba?
siya elite, di mo siya he doesn't have the money to
Nalabel
back
siya
him
as
up.
nuisance ato.
Di mo ko siya populist manggut kita ron. Kung sorry popular, what's the only thing that's popular ba?
Malagi.
So people, that's why Trump won because of his populist tactics na striving the common ang kung say popular na gifeel sa mga tao. So popular sentiment sa mga tao. So Nicanor Perlas who was ahead of his time kay di man siya popular iyang advocacy, iyang platform. So he would never win. That's why.
Wajud.
Oh, di mo siya populist. But right now, in order to be a good politician, you have to be a populist man. You have to appeal to the masses sa ilang unsa. But you're just using them good, of course.
Actually, no, katong nga time no si Nicanor Perlas his only strategy was kuan lang jud ato unta social media kuno. But social media was kind of slow that time.
Yeah, it was he was ahead of his time.
Yeah, he was like, we can do this at least, but he was very optimistic. Jud, we can do this through social media.
A similar
like,
candidate po sa US, si Yang.
Yang Vermin Supreme.
Dili, Yang. Paano na Yang Gang? Yang. Andrew Yang, siguro na siya. Andrew Yang. Yeah. Andrew Yang. He was a good candidate po na in a way na he's ahead of his time ba? Because he's an economist ba siguro? I think he's an economist. But he's very smart in doing his thing. He's thinking about the future ba? But people won't vote for him, and he eventually had to drop out of the race because he didn't get any support. He's not popular. His ideas are not popular, and
asa man siya like
sa liberal.
Sa liberal.
Yes, he's more left. But he's a centrist.
Okay.
So, nasya to nga. But even then, with the word centrist, no, people don't like it na because it's fence sitting daw. Na you're being fence sitting lang ka ba? You're sitting on the fence and watching.
You're too neutral.
Oh, neutral daw ka. But
why?
That's a
Why
valid
not?
position.
Why not?
Oh, why not be neutral?
Everyone is so aggressive. naman
Why
sa
do you have
each
to be
sides.
either insane or deranged? Why can't you just be normal or in the middle?
Yes, can't you have both? I mean, sa best of both worlds lang.
Yeah.
Like, kanang,
I don't really get this antagonism towards fence sitting, Jud, or why fence sitting received such a negative connotation.
Uy, it still revolves sa katotong first nga podcast, di ba? Like, even though like mo segue ni siya kamay, but sa the same as katong computer thing na to ba? Like, are you a mobile gamer or na you really have to choose like a side nga? Usam jud ka, are
Hey,
you a mobile gamer?
you have to be a mobile gamer or a PC or
Why
or
can't you
console.
just be
Why can't you be three?
a guy who loves to play games lang?
Or you just a gamer.
Oh,
even
gamer lang
in the gaming sphere, there's a political battle going on.
I think that's the cause and effect of this thing. Nga,
It's so
because of this,
stupid.
like you have to choose a side. Wait, would you also blame like even when we were kids, like you have to choose your side when you play with toys? Like, how about Beastars, for example, or Transformers? like
Yeah,
Decepticon, and
Decepticon.
Autobots.
But like,
Or
from how it's presented in
when you grow up,
the
you're
arts ba na naadyo good and evil bitaw.
good and evil.
But morality or any stance or anything in particular is so complex na you just can't say na nay good or evil. Na gray area ba? For me, from my philosophy, na siya, na an action is hard to determine if it's really good or evil because napay motives, napay inana. So, it's not easy on the bat makaingon dyan ka, sure, killing another person, you can say na evil dyan na siya right away because you're killing another person. But, again, you have to understand the context of something, an act man good, a motive. Di. What if you're killing a person to save more people? Diba? Is that evil or is that heroic if you're killing somebody to save more people?
Bitaw, no?
So, an act is not easily judged, can be judged easily if it's evil or good. Okay, you have to understand the context, the motive, the belief in that action ba.
Like let's say nga ngano ni allow man siya mo save ngano ni allow man siya sa kaning sa kataon mamatay niya ang
Right.
kaning uban kay ano without knowing ba nga he has to save these guys or mga ginana bitaw.
Yeah.
Nga reason.
So you just can't dili ka pwede, you can't go be extreme about things in that regard pod because politics, something so complex, cannot just be seen as a left or a right. There has to be a middle, a central ground, which you can say na there are good ideas from this side and bad ideas from this side. Oh my gosh. Can they hear this?
Yes,
Oh
they can,
gosh.
but it's not too. Let me see.
Oh gosh.
Oh my god.
That there is the effect of capitalism.
That's capitalism right there. That's like our
Oppression. This is oppression.
that's like our neighbor. Who do we call him?
The West.
Mr. West seems to be experimenting on his backyard again. I hope he's not on his undies. What is that?
It's
Sounds
a-
like a leaf blower.
It's a leaf blower, I think. So yeah. So oh gosh. We were what time is it? How long have we been?
It's already 5:20.
So we've been I guess
Oh,
we
you
can
smell that
call
too.
a time.
You could, yeah. I guess that's a time out
Yeah.
for us now.
So this will be enough for us today.
For today,
For today, but tomorrow we'll come back with more news, reading, and just reaction
hopefully, Dr. Pig
Thoughts?
would recover tomorrow
From the
his
avian flu.
so that we could also discuss about what shows or movies you would like to watch
Yeah.
during lockdown.
So that's it for today's Ordinary Juan podcast. We apologize that something way beyond our control. So I hope that you guys enjoyed our little podcast for today and
Yes,
that you'll
thank you for tuning
be joining us next time.
So, by the way, guys, thank you for joining us here in Pig X Machina. Remember, we scare because we care. But unfortunately, Mr. West right there, he ain't caring for all of us.
I know we got kind of deep, and I know that I said a lot of things that were wrong.
Well, that was kind of cool. You went kind of haywire crazy, but it has to. You have to say it.
If you disagree with the things that I had to say, please say it in the comments and
Please,
tell me
yes.
otherwise. If you agree with what I had to say, then go ahead. Please
Give it-
also say. If you like this video, please give us a like.
us a
If you
like.
disliked it, give it a dislike. And
please share.
subscribe so that you can
Subscribe.
follow our lockdown series and our Ordinary Juan podcast.
Ordinary One podcast.
So that will be enough for today, and
And-
deuces.
Pig X Machina. Sa podcast ko, ano.